Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash just turned Sukuna into a crazier monster than he already was. Now look, if you thought Sukuna was a menace in the anime, just wait until you hear about his ultimate technique and awakening in this upcoming Jujutsu Kaisen console game. I'm telling you man, this game might just break the internet. Look, now I'm not trying to be all off that hype, but have you gotten a chance to look at this game yet? Not just from the basic trailers that have dropped for it, I'm saying have you gotten a detailed view of the game and how fun it might just be? Look, let me break it down for you and go over how this insanely powerful character is going to make a light work of his opponents and hit him with that One Piece.
The One Piece is real.
Can we get much higher?
Let's talk about Sukuna in JJK Cursed Clash. Now if you're rocking with this video, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know that you like the video and helps the video get out to more people like you. And to stay up to date with all the new Jujutsu Kaisen content, be sure to hit that sub button and join the special grade Mafia.
Perfect.
Now with that being said, let's get to the video. I gotta be honest with you, when first seeing some of the early trailers for the game, it didn't actually get me too hyped.
What?
But after a little bit of seeing what's really in store for this game, I'm a little surprised because it's looking to actually be kind of fire. Now before going into all of the cool things about Sukuna in this game, we should start with a quick overview about him. In Jujutsu Kaisen, Sukuna is known as the King of Curses. He has this crazy title because he's effectively a legend and practically a myth. In Sukuna's prime, he was believed to be the strongest curse user in all of existence. In the series, we've seen him use multiple curse techniques, which is a feat incredibly rare, and we've rarely seen this from any other character. It's also fair to say that Sukuna is pretty evil. He's the main villain of the series, and he's consistently killing everyone around him pretty much just for fun.
Gotcha.
In the game, you have access to Sukuna's entire moveset from the anime, which is pretty crazy. This means everything from his main curse technique of cleave and dismantle, his reverse curse technique enabling him to heal, his domain expansion, which is wild, and so much more. In this game, beyond just their curse techniques, each character has a passive and an awakening mode. For the awakening mode, once you've built up enough cursed energy bars, your character enters this awakened state. This unlocks a number of new overpowered abilities and makes your character just start going crazy. Then for passive abilities, each character has a different and unique one. For some of these, they activate once you reach your awakened state, and there's actually a handful of cool ones. One being Yuta, and once he reaches his awakened state, he's able to summon and bring Rika into the battle. Then there's Gojo. His passive is looking to be his Infinity Shield, and this is looking to be mad overpowered, I can't lie. If this works the way it seems like, he may be able to just block all attacks when he's in his awakened state and just be able to dish out mad damage to his ops. Big win for Gojo, big L's for anyone he's facing.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Then we have Sukuna with his passive being reverse curse technique. So that's right, in this game, Sukuna is actually able to heal when he's in his awakened state. The way that looks like this breaks down in the game is after getting damaged, he then naturally regenerates a percentage of the damage he took. Meaning if you're up against Sukuna, good luck, because it does not end here. He has a lot more overpowered abilities in his kit ready for you. When in their awakened mode, characters gain access to new special abilities. These are called their secret moves. And for Sukuna, he has access to his fire arrow. Now this is pretty hype because I didn't think we were actually going to get this in the game. This is the same ability that we see him use in the anime in order to put down the cursed spirit of fire, Jogo. And it looks like this ability dishes out way too much damage. So if you're not Sukuna, you need to watch out and steer clear. I promise you that. Watch out and steer clear, bruh. And the game didn't stop there. You're actually able to use your domain expansions if your character has one. And a lot of characters in this roster have a domain expansion, so it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of different types of domain expansions. In terms of the character roster, I think like 7 characters have a domain. Let's see, it's Megami, Gojo, Sukuna, Mahito, Jogo. Am I missing anyone else? And I think Hanami too. So at least 6 characters should have a domain expansion in the game. And like I said earlier, there's multiple different types of domain expansion. So there's some that trap your opponent in the domain.
It's a trap.
And you continue the battle, juking it out inside of the domain, dealing with any of the effects from that domain expansion. The next domain style does not trap you in the domain, but if you're caught in it, then your character is getting messed up with some different status effects. And then lastly, maybe the most simple, but it's just a cutscene domain expansion dishing out damage to the opponent. Now I think this is a great variety and it keeps each of the domain expansions pretty fresh and fun to use. Now I do think the cutscene domain expansions will be lowest on the list, but I don't doubt if they deal the most damage up front. With that being said, I'm going to enjoy using the ones that have these status effects and are more interactive. Oh yeah, and if I didn't say it earlier, a bit of this is speculation. I've been digging through the gameplay files, finding all the most accurate information possible, But if the final version of the game ends up having a bit of differences, no worries, I'll be sure to cover that as well. So be sure to stay tuned, you feel me? Now, considering each of these different types of domain expansions, I gotta say the one I look forward to the most is the one where it traps your opponent within the domain and starts to transform the environment. Now, at the moment, we don't know exactly what different effects each of these will have based on the character, but we do know which characters have a domain expansion like this, and it's Mahito and Jogo. Mahito's domain expansion is the self-embodiment of perfection. At that moment, you're trapped within his soul manipulation technique, and if we're staying true to the anime, it's an instant KO. I don't think that's going to be the case here in this domain expansion, but I'm really curious to figure out what exact effects are applied to the enemy, and as soon as I figure that out, I'll be sure to update y'all, so stay tuned, you feel me?
Perfect.
And then there's Jogo. His domain expansion is called the Coffin of the Iron Mountain, and it traps the enemy within a volcano. It looks like this domain is going to do a constant damage to the enemy, just making things harder and harder for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if it adds a buff to Jogo as well. But honestly, the main thing that gets me hyped about all of this is that I don't even think I've seen another game where you got some technique like this. Now, if you know one, be sure to drop that in the comments below and let me know. But this to me looks pretty new. I'm so happy that in the game they decided to execute it and let us run the domain expansions, have free range, have cutscenes and all of that. So big ups to the developer company, but I forgot what the name is. Bandai. Big ups to Bandai. Then for the domain expansions that have a lasting effect, the highlight here is Gojo. For Gojo's domain expansion, once he captures the enemy within the domain, then they become paralyzed with Infinite Void. Infinite Void floods the enemy's mind with infinite information. They can't do nothing, so they're just left idle. They can't do nothing, just stun on lock. But a couple of funny things here for Gojo's domain expansion is that apparently he runs in a curse technique burnout immediately after, so he may not be able to use a curse technique while the enemy is stunned, and also the stun may not last for all that long. Now with that said, I don't think it's all that bad. I'm pretty sure Gojo can get off some critical hits or crazy combos within that time, meaning if you get caught in that, I'm sure it's done for you. Well, with that said, on the other side, we then have the cutscene domain expansions. This includes Megami with his Chimera Shadow Garden domain expansion, and then also, for better or for worse, Sukuna with Malevolent Shrine. Now, Sukuna's Malevolent Shrine just sends off his cleave and dismantle techniques endlessly to any enemy within the area. I thought this would have been insane if it was a domain similar to Jogo's and Mahito's, but with it being a cutscene, I imagine this is just going to do a ton of damage to the enemy. But the funny thing is, it doesn't end there. For Sukuna's domain expansion, if your ally is within the area, they get caught in it too, and Sukuna ain't holding back on nobody.
I'm fighting cases on cases on cases on.
Everybody caught within the domain is immediately diced up, including his allies. That's cold, but it's fitting for Sukuna. Actually, a funny thing as well is I think for Gojo's domain, if your allies in there, then they'll get stunned as well. Just a little side note. Now, with all that said, I'm pretty hyped for this game, and I hope you are too. If you're not, come on now, you gotta
get your energy up. If he's taking the ball that way, but it's tricking you, just go that way and trick him.
And with that, if you were rocking with the video, be sure to smash that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all the new Jujutsu Kaisen videos and everything Jujutsu Kaisen Cursed Clash. And then right here is a breakdown of all of the characters and all of the domain expansions in JJK Cursed Clash. Be sure to check that out next, and I'll see you in the video. Thanks for watching.